this coming weekend. They're not helping me, are they, at all? Goodness sake, eh? What? Bit of Thomas the Tank in there. Really excited, of course, not just for the kids, but the big kids as well. It's the 36th year of the exhibition organised by Leamington and Warwick Model Railway Society. Phil Parker is a member and joins us on the show. Morning, Phil.
Good morning, Shane.
Thanks for... Sorry about the Thomas the Tank. We'll get rid of that. Sorry about that.
I don't know. You're not going to take me seriously.
Do you find does this happen a lot to you? Do you get this kind of, like, flippant behaviour?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. People think this is very much a hobby for kids. It's, it's playing trains. It's big boys playing trains. And yet, actually, it's quite a serious hobby as well. It covers absolutely everybody.
But there's nobody about here. I mean, it is, isn't it, really? Isn't it it's just for big kids, isn't it?
Those of us who haven't bothered growing up.
Now, when did you get the bug? What age did this all start for you?
I don't think can't really remember when it started. I was given a bag of balsa wood when I was very, very young by my dad, and a knife and some glue, and told to go away and get on with it.
And so you made your own stuff?
I made my own stuff. I was always a kid who made stuff. I had Lego, obviously, like other kids, but I also had sharp knives, bits of wood and cardboard, and that sort of thing. And I was the one who loved the box rather than the present.
And how funny that the railway, I mean, model aircraft, if you're into that kind of thing, there were kits for those. Not as far as I'm aware, there weren't for railways, were there? Were there model trains that you could make?
No, there always have been model trains that you make, but right back to 1900 and before that, people have been building model trains. Basically, as soon as there was a railway, somebody built a model of it.
You brought anything in with you, have you?
I brought loads of stuff in with me.
Let's have a look. Come on, let's dig in.
You want a train? There you are.
Oh, look at the little. Now, what have we got? It's a London Midland, isn't it?
London Midland. It's the Killin Pug. It was the Killin branch up in Scotland had two of these little locomotives because they couldn't hold anything bigger, and that is actually a kit. It's something I've built from various parts.
What's it made out of? It's got a metally feel to it.
It's actually made of polyester resin. That's a kit by a company called Dean Sidings, who will be at the exhibition at the weekend. And that comes as a series of parts, and there's the mechanical bits come as bits of metal, and you have to solder it, and you burn your fingers, and all that sort of thing, and you end up with that. Or, as I say, the other end of the hobby is you just go to a model shop like one of the ones around the corner here and buy something ready to run.
Very, very old-fashioned, that is, isn't it? What would you call that? For people listening, it's a steam
engine.
Loco,
it's a small steam shunting engine,
okay.
And that would date from sort of 1930s. What you're holding in your hand at the moment is to show that we don't just concentrate on the trains. It's all about the whole atmosphere. That's a mobile crane, the sort of thing you'd seen at large warehouses, things like Coventry Canal Basin, that sort of thing.
What kind of era? Because this is not a modern thing, is it? This
that's not a modern thing. That would be anything from 1940-ish right up to 1960s. Those things were kicking around.
Unbelievable. And again, it's metal.
There was a lot of weight to that. It's actually made from what we call white metal, which is a lead alloy. So yes, that's got plenty of weight to it, and that's actually a fiendishly complicated kit because it comes as about 50 different bits.
How big do we go when we're talking model railways? And the gauge is the thing that determines the size, isn't it? That's the distance across the tracks.
Yes, the distance across the tracks. Well, at the show we will go from T gauge, which is 2 millimetres across the tracks.
2 millimetres?
2 millimetres, and they really work.
Okay.
That is the latest thing from Japan, amazingly.
T gauge,
which stands for very, very, very tiny, I think.
Which was that's a bit of a disappointment, isn't it? You would expect it to be something more than that. But so that's presumably because Japan, not like you say, not a lot of space in their homes, have they? So
I think it's more a gimmick, to be honest. But it's fascinating.
Okay.
Of course, what you do is you get a very different perspective on your model there. If you model with something with a very, very small gauge, you model in the countryside. You're not really modelling the trains. You're modelling the countryside and the environment around it. We then go up through through things like 00, which is what your standard Hornby is.
Okay.
And one of the largest we have there is gauge 1, which is 32 millimetres across the rails. But that's all live steam, and that'll be a layout called Stanley Midland, where these guys have spent many years building each of these locomotives, and they will be charging around with genuine steam coming out of the top of them, and we will be keeping you back because you don't want to burn your fingers on those.
That is amazing, isn't it? So, and are those the kind of things you can ride on, are they, as well?
No,
or are they not that size?
That's not. It's still not big enough for riding on. Once you get on beyond that, then you really are into model engineering, which is far, far above my skills and abilities.
Anything modern you've got there for us this morning, or have you gone all retro with all of it?
I've gone all retro this morning. It depends.
That's what you like, isn't it?
You can go even further retro. Now, if I hand you that magazine there, there's a model railway in there called Clarendon. That is That is one of the best in the country. That will be at the show, and that was built by the by members of the Leamington Club. Now that's set around 1908ish, and if you flick on a couple of pages, you'll see underneath the platform canopy.
Oh, wow.
You suddenly see the incredible level of detail. Now, this isn't just about the model making. This is about the research. It's about the history. It's about understanding it. You know, you've got guys there who you might think will just be happy soldering bits of metal together, have suddenly got to work out what a lady would have been wearing in 1908 when she was standing waiting for a train.
Get yourself down there. Just give people the details of when and where they need to be.
Right. They need to be at Stoneleigh Park. That's the old National Agricultural Centre. Tomorrow and Sunday. That's the 15th and 16th of July from 10 o'clock in the morning.
Phil, thanks for bringing the stuff in. Don't be surprised if we bump into each other over the weekend, will you?
Oh, I look forward to seeing you.
And if I've got the wife with me, just pretend we've not seen each other.
I'll divert to why you're going to spend some money on the trade stands.
Thanks a lot. Phil Parker joining us this morning.
Your voice, your life. BBC Coventry and Warwickshire.